Alexander Prescott's phone buzzed in his pocket, breaking the peaceful silence of the evening. He pulled it out, his fingers moving swiftly across the screen. He read the message. "So you got my position. I'm coming for your wife." Alexander's jaw clenched so tight, a muscle twitched in his cheek. His eyes, usually warm and laughing, turned hard as flint. Anything that threatened his beloved Ophelia felt like a knife twisting in his own heart. He had a rule, set in stone. Nobody who dared to mess with his wife walked away unscathed. Even now, he could remember the man who shot at him 6 years ago. That fool had paid the ultimate price for his mistake. Only one person in this world would dare to challenge me like this, Alexander thought, his mind racing through possibilities. But surely they wouldn't be so foolish. He looked at the message again, reading each word carefully. Slowly, a smile spread across his face. It wasn't a nice smile, it was the kind of smile a wolf might give before pouncing on its prey. All this time, Ophelia sat across from him, watching her husband's face. She saw the storm of emotions play across his features, anger darkening his brow, worry tightening the corners of his mouth, and then a dangerous kind of joy lighting up his eyes. "Who is that, Alexander?" Ophelia asked, her voice soft but laced with worry. She leaned forward, trying to catch his eye. Alexander looked up, seeming to remember she was there. He waved his hand dismissively, trying to look nonchalant. "Oh, it's nothing, my dear," he said, his voice tight despite his attempt at casualness. "Just some fool causing trouble. Nothing to worry about." Ophelia wasn't fooled for a second. She knew her husband too well. "But you know who it is, don't you?" she pressed, her eyebrows raised in question. "Of course I know him," Alexander said. She sat up straight. "Then I'm sure you know exactly what needs to be done," she said. "We can't let fools get away with threats like this. They need to be taught a lesson, Alexander. Put them in their place." Alexander stared at his wife, momentarily shocked by her steely resolve. Then, quite unexpectedly, he burst out laughing. It wasn't a small chuckle, but a full-bodied roar of amusement that shook his whole frame. "What have you done to my sweet wife?" he exclaimed between gasps of laughter, his eyes twinkling with a mix of surprise and admiration. "Bring my gentle Ophelia back. Who is this fierce warrior who's taken her place?" Just as Ophelia was about to respond, their pilot Andrew stepped into the room. He was dressed in a crisp uniform, a welcoming smile on his face. "Mr. and Mrs. Prescott," he said warmly, nodding to each of them. "Welcome aboard. We're all fueled up and ready for takeoff. If you'd like to take your seats, we'll be in the air." Before Ophelia could fully process what was happening, they were moving. The plane's engines hummed to life, a soft vibration running through the cabin. The takeoff was so smooth, so expertly handled, that Ophelia barely felt the moment they left the ground. It wasn't until she glanced out of the window, curious about the sudden change in light, that she realized they were airborne. Fluffy white clouds rushed past, looking close enough to touch. The house below began to become like toys. "Oh!" Ophelia gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "Alexander, look! We're flying!" Ophelia looked through the airplane window, her eyes wide with childlike wonder. Alexander watched her from the corner of his eye, his heart swelling with affection. He longed to reach out and take her hand, to share in her excitement. But he hesitated. Their relationship was still new, delicate, and he didn't want to overstep. Instead, he slowly stretched his arm across, pretending to point at something outside. "Look at that cloud formation," he said softly, his voice barely audible over the drone of the engines. "It's like a castle in the sky." Ophelia turned to him, her face glowing with joy. Her smile was radiant, lighting up her entire face. In that moment, she didn't notice that Alexander's hand had gently come to rest on hers. He felt a thrill run through him at the contact, but kept his expression neutral. "It's so beautiful up here," Ophelia breathed, her voice full of awe. "I've never seen anything like it." Alexander nodded, about to respond when he noticed a flight attendant making her way to them. "Oh, looks like it's time to order drinks," he said. "What would you like?" he asked, looking at his wife. "Good morning, sir." "Good morning, madam," she greeted them cheerfully. "Can I interest you in something to drink? We have a wide array of beverages, everything from hard liquor to soft drinks. Just let me know your preference." Ophelia suddenly felt shy, overwhelmed by the choices. She leaned close to Alexander, her breath tickling his ear as she whispered, "You choose for us, please. I trust your judgment." Alexander felt a surge of protectiveness. He straightened in his seat and addressed the attendant with polite authority. "We'll have a bottle of Merlot, please." "Certainly, sir. Would you care for anything to eat as well? We have a selection of light snacks and meals available." Alexander glanced at Ophelia. "Oh, that's right. We should probably eat something, shouldn't we? We rushed out so early this morning we missed breakfast. What do you think, darling? Are you hungry?" Ophelia bit her lip, considering her choice. Her stomach did feel a bit empty, but the excitement of the flight had pushed away any hunger pangs. Maybe we could eat after we have some wine," she suggested. "I'm not sure if I could eat right now." Alexander's face lit up with approval. "Oh, that's a brilliant idea, my dear," he exclaimed. Turning back to the attendant, he confirmed, "Just the bottle of Merlot for now, thank you. We might order some food a bit later." "Very good, sir," the attendant replied with a nod. "I'll be right back with your wine." True to her word, she returned moments later, carrying a silver tray with an ice bucket, a gleaming bottle of Merlot, and 2 elegant wine flutes. As she began to open the bottle, Alexander raised his hand. "Please, allow me," he said smoothly. "I'd like to serve it myself, if you don't mind." The attendant paused, then smiled understanding. "Of course, sir. Enjoy your flight." She placed the tray on their table and departed swiftly. Alexander took the bottle. He poured the liquid into both glasses and handed one to Ophelia. "A toast," he proposed, "to more exciting times in each other's company, to new adventures and shared experiences." Ophelia's brow furrowed slightly. No, I don't like that kind of toast," she said. "All right then," he chuckled. "Why don't you make your own toast? Something more to your liking. But first," he added playfully, "let's clink glasses and drink to mine. Then you can improve upon it." They both sipped their wine, savoring the crisp, bubbly taste. When they finished, Ophelia lifted her glass with newfound confidence. Her eyes sparkled as she spoke, her voice soft but clear. "This is to finding happiness and deep joy on this voyage of life," she said, her words carrying a weight of emotion. Alexander turned to look at his wife. He studied her face as if seeing her for the first time. "Where is this coming from?" he asked. Ophelia smiled mysteriously, a hint of wisdom in her eyes. "Sometimes it takes being in the air to say the right things and gain new perspectives," she responded, her tone thoughtful. Alexander's face broke into a warm grin. "Oh, nice, I'll drink to that," he said, and they clinked their glasses. A short while later, the flight attendant returned, her approach cautious so as not to interrupt. "Sorry to disturb you, sir, madam. Would you like your meals now?" she asked politely. Alexander turned to his wife, his eyebrows raised in question. Ophelia nodded. "Yes, I would like something to eat," Ophelia said, her voice more confident than before. "Mashed potato with steak, please. And I'd also like a bowl of salad as well, specifically French salad." "Would you like steak or chicken in your salad, madam?" she inquired. Ophelia's eyes lit up at the choices. "I would like both," she responded, then turned to her husband. "What about you?" she asked. "I'll have the same," he replied, squeezing her hand gently. The flight attendant nodded. "Right away, sir, madam," she said, and left swiftly to prepare their meals. In a short while she returned with their food, arranging it carefully. They ate with relish, occasionally exchanging glances and smiles over their meal. When they finished, they reclined in their seats, feeling satisfied and a bit drowsy. Alexander leaned closer to Ophelia, his voice low and intimate. "There's a cabin on this plane for you to sleep in if you want," he said, gesturing towards a corner of the plane. It's just over there. Ophelia shook her head. No, I don't want to lie down and sleep in a plane, she insisted. I'd rather sit and sleep here. His eyes turned dark in an instant. Are you scared that I will touch you?